Krishna saved his foster father, Nanda Mahārāja, from the fear of the demigod Varuṇa, and released the cowherd boys from the caves of the mountain, for they were placed there by the son of Maya. Also to the inhabitants of Vṛndāvana, who were busy working during daytime and sleeping soundly at night because of their hard labor in the day, Lord Kṛṣṇa awarded promotion to the highest planet in the spiritual sky. All these acts are transcendental and certainly prove without any doubt His Godhood. Please repeat. Lord Kṛṣṇa saved his foster father, Nanda Mahārāja.
Lord Kṛṣṇa saved his foster father, Nanda Mahārāja,
from the fear of the demigod Varuṇa,
from the fear of the demigod Varuṇa,
and released the cowherd boys from the caves of the mountain,
and released the cowherd boys from the caves of the mountain,
for they were placed there by the son of Maya.
Where they were placed there for the son of Maya.
Also,
you keep that noise down and trying to listen to it.
I'll mute that. Sorry.
Also to the inhabitants of Vṛndāvana,
also to the inhabitants of Vṛndāvana,
who were busy working during the daytime
who were busy working during daytime
and sleeping soundly at night
and sleeping soundly at night
because of their hard labor in the day.
Because of the hard labor in the day,
Lord Kṛṣṇa awarded promotion to the highest planet in the spiritual sky.
Lord Kṛṣṇa awarded promotion to the highest planet in the spiritual sky.
All these acts are transcendental.
All these acts are transcendental.
And certainly prove without any doubt His Godhood.
And certainly prove without any doubt His Godhood.
Just a moment, Prabhu. Okay, go to Chandra Prabhu.
Okay, so we have our purport.
Plan. We're ready.
Thank you. Nanda Mahārāja, the foster father of Lord Kṛṣṇa, went to take his bath in the river Jamuna in the dead of night, mistakenly thinking that the night was already over. Thus the demigod Varuṇa took him to the Varuṇa planet just to have a look at the personality of Godhead, Lord Kṛṣṇa, who appeared there to release his father. Actually, there was no rest of Nanda Mahārāja by Varuṇa, because the inhabitants of Vṛndāvana were always engaged in thinking of Kṛṣṇa in constant meditation on the personality of Godhead in a particular form of samadhi, or trance of bhakti yoga. They had no fear of the miseries of material existence. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that to be in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by full surrender in transcendental love frees one from the miseries inflicted by the laws of material nature. Here it is clearly mentioned that the inhabitants of Vṛndāvana were extensively busy in the hard labor of their day's work. And due to the day's hard labor, they were engaged in sound sleep at night. So practically, they had very little time to devote to meditation or to the other paraphernalia of spiritual activities only. Everything done by them was spiritualized because everything was dovetailed in their relationship with Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa. The central point of activities was Kṛṣṇa, and as such, the so-called activities in the material world were saturated with spiritual potency. That is the advantage of the way of bhakti yoga. One should discharge one's duty on Lord Kṛṣṇa's behalf, and all one's actions will be saturated with Kṛṣṇa thought, the highest pattern of trance in spiritual realization. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshus Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Swapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Upakadamayam Dadanti Swavadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpa Tubhischa, Papasundu Vivacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Okay, the translation again. Lord Krishna saved his foster father Nanda Mahārāja from the fear of the demigod Varuṇa and released the cowherd boys from the caves of the mountain, for they were placed there by the son of Maya. Also to the inhabitants of Vṛndāvana, who were busy working during daytime and sleeping soundly at night because of their hard labor in the day. Lord Krishna awarded promotion to the highest planets in the spiritual sky. All these acts are transcendental and certainly prove without any doubt His Godhood. So here we're discussing about Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, in brief in this particular chapter. And we're here spending a few verses on Krishna and his different activities. So we can see here the pastime of how Krishna went to go see Varuṇa. Yes. Hold on just a second. Hold on. Go here. Okay, sorry, someone came at the door. So just see the nerve of Varuṇa to actually steal his father. You know, he was pretty bold, but what was his motive? His motive was simply to see Krishna. Sometimes you see different devotees throughout the past times. They will do some things that are considered to be wrong or sinful or bad, but their motives are completely different. And this is the case with Varuṇa, where he actually, just wanted to see Krishna. So he, actually he didn't, I think he was Maya, the son of, the son of Maya is described in this chapter was Vyomasura. Not Maya, but Mayadanava, who's the son of Mayadanava. It's described in this verse. So, that's what happened here. And so here we see the pure devotees are very eager to see Krishna, despite some wrong that took place. And there's many examples of that, and throughout the Bhagavatam. We could see Krura, who also had a bad reputation. He came and asked Krishna to come and take him away to go to fight with the wrestlers. And but he knew, he wasn't afraid, because he knew that Krishna knew his heart, and that he was actually, just an excuse to come and see Krishna, but yet it wasn't him. He was a servant of Kamsa, so that was his duty. But he had a great opportunity. He was a great devotee of Krishna. So he wanted to see Krishna. And then also we have this famous example. Sorry, this picture probably didn't come out very good here, but this is Mahavishnu. He wanted to see Krishna so bad that he killed the Brahman's sons one after another. And he actually gave a bad name to the whole, dynasty, the Yadu dynasty, and to the Kshatriyas, and the Brahmins even, just because even though he's like the source of all the incarnations, different incarnations of Krishna, he's the super soul in everybody's heart, but he still wanted to see the personal form of Krishna. He's so attractive. So he made this arrangement. So-called he did some bad activities just to see Krishna. They do these things without fear because they know Krishna knows their motive. Like that. Similarly, there was a great king also during the time of the Rajasuya sacrifice, where Bhima was to go out, and the different brothers went out in different directions to conquer all the different kings that they would submit to King Yudhishthira. And this was one of the criteria for performing the sacrifice, was that everybody had to be under this particular king. There can't be any rivalry. So this one king, he was in some area, I can't remember exactly, was it in Bengal or something like that? And I even forgot his name. But he knew that Bhima was coming, and he fought him very, Bhima thought, well, he's gonna, he's a devotee, and he's gonna be, there's not gonna be no conflict here. But actually, he was waiting for him, and he was very, very, he fought Bhima very severely, and Bhima was losing, and Kṛṣṇa had to come and help him. And then once Kṛṣṇa came, then they stopped fighting, and they said, oh great, I was just waiting for Kṛṣṇa to come. That's all I was waiting for. So this is his reason for fighting with Bhima, just to see Kṛṣṇa. So let's go on here. So what is this hard labor? Prabhupada talks this material life is called pavarga. It means hard labor. We're working hard. Compare that to the working hard of the devotees. And Prabhupada describes that in different ways, that there's 5 different states of suffering. There's pa, which means parishrama, very hard labor. And then there's fa, which means phena, it's our foam from the mouth. Sometimes we see like the horse just foaming at the mouth, or even people sometimes are working hard, they start foaming at the mouth, So this is the fa. And then there's ba, which means vyartata, we become disappointed. In spite of working so hard, with so much labor, what do we find at the end? Disappointment. And then, not only that, there's ba. There's the bhaya, or fear, in material life. So one's always in this blazing fire of fear. And since, we don't know what's going to happen next. And then finally, we have ma. And that is mrityu, death. So when one is attempting to nullify these different statuses of life, this pa, fa, ba, and ma, then one achieves this apavarga instead of pavarga. That means liberation from the punishment of the material existence. So this is what the actual gopis were experiencing. They were working for Kṛṣṇa very hard. And they were totally engaged in Kṛṣṇa. They just wanted to please him. They weren't trying to come to God and say, give us our daily bread, or give us this, we want this. Like Christians go to the church, or Hindus pray to the different demigods. Please give me this. And then they please the demigods, and they get what they want. But this is different for the devotee. The devotees, they just want to please Kṛṣṇa. That's it. That's all. So there's this nice verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, text number 9. Dharmashahi apavargasya narto ritayo pakalpate nartasya dharmaikantasya kamo labhaya hi smritaha. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who's engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. So this is pure devotional service. And this is followed once we get knowledge of Kṛṣṇa, who Kṛṣṇa is. We're learning about Kṛṣṇa from this Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we get this knowledge, we become so attracted to Kṛṣṇa, we're actually become detached from this material existence. The general tendency is that, man wants to work really hard. He wants to gain some material profit. And that's in exchange for his religiosity. Even in the Vedas, there's so many ritualistic performances, for material gain. But these are just so-called men of religion. So we should gauge, as Prabhupada explains, no matter what kind of activity, but we should do it for Kṛṣṇa service, not for material gain. And then the verse after this, it says what we should actually use our energy for. Kamasya nendriya pritir labo jiveta javata jivasya tattva jignasya nartoyas cheha karma bhi Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's works. So that's very important. We have to understand that this is the purpose of our human life, is to actually understand who we are, what our relationship is with the Supreme, and how to get out of here. So it's very important that we understand. Prabhupada gives the example of how one may have a disease of, what is it called, like a disease from eating too many milk products of the bowels. You may have this disease. But if he takes the same product in a very methodological way, then he can actually get cured from that. So that's the process of Krishna consciousness, is to do the activities that we do. We work hard. We see the devotees working hard. And they do it for Krishna. This is their purpose, is to please Krishna. And then there's the verse from the Bhagavad Gita, Brahmarpanam Brahma Havir, Brahmagno Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivetena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So a person who's fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute, and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. So here we see how the activities of Krishna consciousness, they can actually ultimately lead to our spiritual goal here. And what did Prabhupada say in the purport? That it's Goloka. This is actually our goal of everyone in our movement, is to go to Goloka. So this is the process. And this is how we get out of the spiritual atmosphere. Just as we described, the patient is suffering from overindulgence in milk, then he can be cured by curds or the yogurt, like that. So this yajna is just meant for sacrifice. It's simply meant for satisfying Vishnu. And if we satisfy Vishnu, then more and more everything becomes spiritualized. The whole atmosphere becomes spiritualized by completely absorbed in Krishna. This is amazing process. And Srila Prabhupada's genius, he actually taught us how to do that. Many devotees here in LA, they will now actually remember that they would have their routine here doing different services, some working in the BBT, some working in spiritual sky incense factories or different deity departments and other departments that are working. They get into a routine and they do some, come in certain time, take prasadam, take a little break, take some rest, maybe show up a little, for another hour, and then it's time to quit. But here, Srila Prabhupada had them engaged in the marathon to produce 17 volumes of the Chaitanya Charitamrita in 2 months. This is where they not only were sleeping well, actually they were giving up sleep. Sometimes we think maybe if we have a problem sleeping, maybe we're not working hard enough for Krishna. So, but these devotees are actually giving up sleep practically 24 hours a day. They actually accomplished that mission, which the devotees thought was impossible. And Prabhupada said impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. So this is the empowerment, is that we become completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Like this marathon that they did, you talked to these devotees, they said it was like they were in samadhi. They were in bliss. And then after the marathon, it was like, wow, back to misery again. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness, to become fully absorbed in Krishna. This is our highest form of thought, is engaged in Krishna service. And Prabhupada, he said he wanted his devotees, all his disciples, there was a letter he said that he wanted all his disciples to do 2 things. And what were those 2 things? Is to have Krishna conscious festivals and open Radha Krishna temples. So you think this festival is easy to put on? People are working for weeks and months preparing for a festival like this, just to bring Krishna out to the streets. These people are not coming to the temple to get the darshan of Krishna. So Krishna is so merciful in the form of Lord Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra, they're merciful to the most fallen malechas, that they'll personally come out of their temple to give their mercy and their darshan. So Prabhupada was very pleased when the devotees would put on Rath Yatras and festivals, so to engage all the conditioned souls in Krishna consciousness and get them completely absorbed. This is what happened just yesterday. We were here performing this festival. I got a nice view from top of one of the buildings there. Somebody was kind enough to let me up there. And you can see, look at all the conditioned souls. This is the mercy of God and the mercy of the devotees. They're always engaged in working hard for Krishna to put on these festivals, to open temples, to perform marathons, to do so many different things, just to become absorbed in Krishna and please the spiritual master and the instructions of the spiritual master. So there's so many devotees that were engaged in this process, working so hard, day and night, from early in the morning to late at night, using all their energy, all their resources in performing this yajna, this samadhi of Krishna consciousness, just to engage the conditioned souls. So I was putting on the photos onto the computer as I was putting together this class. So I think all of them weren't on there, so there's more pictures of the actual festival site, and so many different performers came on, and we had Agni Dev here, and different dancers and performers, and singers came. Just a transcendental, it was like samadhi. We were just totally absorbed all day. From the minute you awaken to you come home at night, you just completely in samadhi. It's like so blissful. And it's like the whole spiritual world just descended onto this Venice beach where we have so many species of life there, even in the human form. There's so many different types of species. And they're all getting the mercy of Lord Jagannath. So many thousands of books went out, thousands of plates of prasadam. So many people heard the holy names. And God Devotee Association. It's very nice questions and answer booths. Many people came, got the darshan of Jayaveta Swami, Girira Swami. Different devotees were here. So it's very nice to see this particular activity, Krishna consciousness. And this is what samadhi really means, is to work hard for Krishna and to engage some or another, all our energy, all our time, working very hard, just like the residents of Vṛndāvana did. I mean, they were working hard. It's not like they studied and did so many different things like that. There's one devotee that was engaged in Krishna service in Vṛndāvana. He was saying, Prabhupada, I don't have no time to hear and chant. My rounds are not so good, and this and that. I think maybe I should just go and meditate. Just go off into, the forest or somewhere and meditate. Prabhupada said, no. He said, do you think that dealing with the permits, dealing with these things, dealing with, the labor and all the supplies and materials for building the temple there in Vṛndāvana, you think that's not Krishna consciousness? Anything in relation to Krishna is Krishna consciousness, is spiritual activities. Everything becomes the process, everything is consumed as it's all for Krishna. It becomes spiritualized. So once a year, we spiritualize the whole Venice Beach Pavilion, starting from Santa Monica. There, the parade is coming down. People are dancing in the streets. People are taking prasadam, like that. And simply for one thing, is to just become absorbed in Krishna. Because if, as Prabhupada mentioned, these two things, festivals and Radha Krishna temples, includes everything: book distribution, prasadam distribution, the holy name, preaching. It includes all these activities. What a perfect way to become completely absorbed in Krishna. Krishna's, Srila Prabhupada's genius. So we have that process. Today, we have an opportunity to become engaged in samadhi, Krishna consciousness, and be very blissful. So thank you very much for your kind attention. So maybe we can open it up for some comments and realizations, questions.
You gotta give me a second to unmute everybody.
Jai. We saw a lot of your friends from Hawaii.
Oh,
really? They're here. We saw Urmila, we saw Raghava, and I guess Raghu is also from Hawaii, right?
Raghava? was
Yeah,
there. Manui, Deva. Okay.
and also the devotee from Florida. What's his name?
Madan Mohan?
Yeah, yes, Madan Mohan was there. It's very nice to see them.
There was some sort of a problem with a big Ferris wheel that was going in. I had heard that like a year ago they were going to cancel this route in Venice Beach.
Yeah, there was something. They actually had something there last year. There was like they had this this line that you come down. What do they call those things? You come flying down on this cord, and it was they were coming right in front of the stage. They were flying, but I didn't see it this year. I don't know what happened. But I don't know what the deal is, if they went through or not. But no, it wasn't brought up or anything, so maybe there was canned. I have no idea. But yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing Rath Yatra, LA Rath Yatra.
Get people from all over the world come. And it's just, wow. So.
Yeah, Sukla flew in from Australia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so many people. I don't know so many people, but yeah.
I got a question. The painting that you showed with Vishnu with a sword and Krishna pranams and standing in front of him, where is that pastime?
That's when Krishna took Arjuna to Mahavishnu. He went through all the 7 layers to go see Mahavishnu.
Do you know what chapter that is?
It's in the Krishna book, I believe. Yeah, Prabhupada's kind of reminded me of that pastime from today's verse. But looks like it's not going back. Let me see if I can find that picture. That's weird. I probably lost connection here. Here, let me just go here and just go back using this thing. Let me see here. Lost connection with everything. It's just going forward. Let me go this way. I think I have to go like this. There we go. Yeah. That's a very amazing pastime. This one is so...
So you don't know the chapter in the extended 10th canto?
No, I sure don't. I'm sorry. Maybe somebody else has access.
It's in the Dwarka Leela of Krishna book?
Yeah. When the Brahman, was his children were being taken away or killed, one after another, and nobody could protect him. And then Arjuna kind of said, "No, I can protect you." And he goes, "Who do you think you are? I mean, even Balaram and Krishna haven't been able to protect me. You think you're better than them?" And he said, "Well, I have the Gandiva bow and everything. And if I am not able to bring him back, I'll enter fire." So, he couldn't do it. And then Krishna came and said, "Oh, okay, let's go. I know where they are." So he took him beyond the 7 layers of the universe and went to see Mahavishnu. Just because Mahavishnu wanted to see Krishna. So he performed all those activities just to do that. That's amazing pastime. Also, Arjuna learning how, even Krishna, he offered obeisances to Mahavishnu. So.
While you were doing class, I didn't want to look up anything, but what was that about the demon Maya? He put the cowherd boys in a cave?
Yeah.
I just don't recall the pastime in the
That's
Krishna.
Vyoma. Vyoma. The son of Maya is Vyoma.
Can you remind us of the pastime? I just can't quite remember it right now.
They were playing thieves, and they were playing a game, and Vyoma saw the opportunity to, and the thieves were hiding the cowherd boys from some of the others. And he started collecting them, but he would put a stone in front of the cave so they couldn't get out. And he was gradually getting all of the cowherd boys. And Krishna caught on to his game and grabbed them and he like a wolf. It's in the verse, and then he expands into this form as big as a mountain. Kṛṣṇa, it's described, he killed him like a sacrificial animal.
Yeah, I was looking for a picture, but I couldn't find one of that one. Probably there somewhere. But yeah, it's pretty. Kṛṣṇa and the cowboys are playing like cops and robbers or something. I never. So he took advantage, the demon. Guy. So yeah, he was the son of Maya Danava, not like Maya.
Yeah, these verses are interesting. They're so condensed. It's when I first saw it, release the cowboys, I thought of Brahma, but then son of Maya, that didn't work.
Mm-hmm. And this whole chapter is like a summary too. It's just a very brief summary of Kṛṣṇa and his pastors, different incarnations. So you could really expand on everything. See if I could find that first. Let's see. Any other comments or questions? Oh, we saw also Narahari's wife was here. Very nice. And yeah.
Okay.
Coming up here. Anyway, I was trying to find that for you. But now, yeah, any more comments or questions? If not, maybe we can have an early class end today.
Okay. All right. If no one else has anything else they want to add, then thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Gaudacandra.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna.
All right. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Very good.
Hare Krishna.